Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakak, Radash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad, teaching his word in truth and sincerity. And I'm going to do a quick lesson, and I'm going to land back off of GMS Vegas sit-downs, right? They did a lesson yesterday off of they did a lesson yesterday and was going into the division of Esau, right? How Esau, Edom, and Jacob are always going to be divided. We're never going to come together because the Lord gave us two different spirits, right? One is the spirit of the righteous and one is the spirit of the wicked, right? And it stems all the way back to Genesis, the 3rd chapter in the garden with the serpent, right? So I'm gonna read that and I'm gonna get a few scriptures, and it's not gonna be a long lesson, but it's just gonna be a few precepts going into that, right? Because Esau, Edom, he'll never be cool with us, man. He's always gonna have that perpetual hatred towards Jake, and it was set up like that from the beginning. So this is Genesis, the 3rd chapter. It says, "And I will put enmity between thee and thy woman," right? That woman is Israel, and thee is talking about that serpent, and between thy seed and her seed. It shall bruise thy head, and thou shalt bruise his heel. And it's talking about the descendants. It's talking about the 12 tribes of Israel, right? And it's talking about the Edomites, right? It's always going to be enmity. It's always going to be a division between Esau, Edom, and Jake, because we are two manner of people, as it says in what is that? Genesis 25, right? In 25, it talks about how we are a different manner of people. Right, one is the righteous, and one is the wicked. When you look at a story, it's always a protagonist and an antagonist, right? The antagonist and the protagonist are always against each other, right? And it speaks volumes, based off of the colors that were given in the world, black and white, the opposites. Esau, Edom, he's considered the white, and we're considered the black based off pigmentation. But in real life, we are the white, You can say the white people are, what it means to be pure, right? White is pure. We're the pure people. We're the holy people on the face of the earth. And Esau, Edom is the black person or the wicked. How they use these different words to give off certain connotations, right, for people, right? And they give us the word black, but we're really not black. We're brown people, right? We're darker pigmented, but we're still brown people. And this is how Esau uses his tactics to paint us out as the bad people on the earth, right? So, and the Lord has always had that division between Esau, Edom, and Jake, right? And there's a perpetual hatred between, or there's a perpetual hatred that Esau, Edom has towards Jake, right? Let's go to Genesis. Let's go into that a little bit. It's 25, and I think I'm going to start at around 23. Genesis 25 and 23. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, and two manner of people shall be separated from thy bowels. And the one people shall be stronger than the other, and the elders shall serve the younger, right? The elders Esau shall serve the younger, right? And that's coming around, right? Where Esau, Edom is going to be a perpetual slave. It says, and when her days to be delivered were fulfilled, there were two twins in her womb. And Esau is going to be a perpetual slave until he gets destroyed off the face of the earth, which is talks about that in Obadiah, the 1st chapter. And the first came out red and all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau. And after that came his brother out, his hand took hold of his heel, right? And his name was called Jacob. And Isaac was 80 years old when she bare them. And the boys grew, and Esau was a cunning hunter and a man of the field, and Jacob was a plain man dwelling in tents. Right? Let me see. Oh, yeah, Slakia. It was at 23. I started at. What did I start at 23? It's Genesis 25 and 23. And the Lord said unto her, two nations are in thy womb, two manner of people, right? So it says two manner of people, and they should be separated, right? So we always had this separation, even now. Even now you see the separation between Esau, Edom, and Jacob, right? So we're never going to get along for you, you bugged out Jakes to think you can walk hand in hand with Esau, right? Because they don't like you, and they're going to turn on you in the last days. Their horns are going to show, and they're going to turn on you coon Jakes that want to hold hands with Esau. And let's go to 2 chapters over, and I think it's around 38. It says this is Genesis 27 and 41. This is Esau not getting that blessing, or him getting a blessing, but not the blessing that he was supposed to get, that he thought he was supposed to get by him being the older brother, right? Jacob he yiquad him out of his blessing, which was already set up from the foundation. It says, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said into his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. Right, and we understand the story that Jacob didn't get slayed by Esau, but that same spirit it trickled down all the way to his prosperity, and he eventually got that bloodshed he wanted, right, from his brother. He wanted to kill his brother, and he got it, and it played out in this time, in this captivity, right? Right, so we see that the separation was always meant to be, right? So now we can go to Ezekiel. What is it? Ezekiel 36. It's like 36 and 6. Oh, that's 35. It's like it. This is Ezekiel 35 and 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of the calamity, in the time of their iniquity had an end. It says, therefore therefore as I live, said the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee, since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And let's actually start from. Let's start from 35, from the top. Moreover, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Right, so it's talking about Mount Seir, which Mount Seir is where the Edomites dwelled at. And I say unto it, thus said the Lord God, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in that time of their calamity, and the time that their iniquity had an end. Therefore, as I live, said the Lord God, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off it from it him that passeth and him that returneth. Right, going into how the Lord is going to destroy Esau, Edom, and his empire because of the hatred and the bloodshed of the children of Israel, which goes back to Genesis. Right, goes back into that separation. Let's go to Amos. I think it's like 1 and 11. This is Amos 1:11. Thus saith the Lord, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away thy punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. Right, so that's what we're seeing now. We're seeing that same wrath Esau had back in the day. We're seeing that same wrath today. Right, we're seeing that same wrath today, and that's why Esau Edom's gonna come down like that flood on Jake. Right, it says that he roars about like a lion, seeking who he may devour. Also, in Revelation 12 and 12, it talks about how he knows he has a short time. Right, so he's going to come down. He's going to come down on Jake, man. Right, he's going to come down on Jake, and he's going to show that hatred for that final hour the Lord gives him to display the hatred he has against his brother Jacob. And that's it. That's when the Israelites will get the kingdom of heaven, and he'll be thrown down. All right, so he's fulfilling his lot. Right. Let's go to I want to go to verse, I think it's in Sirach 33. Yep. Let's see where it's at. This is Ecclesiastes 3:33 and 10. It says, all men are from the ground, and Adam was created of the earth. And much knowledge the Lord hath divided them, and made their ways diverse. Some of them have he blessed and exalted, which are the Israelites, and some of them that he sanctified and set near himself. But some of them have he cursed and brought low, and turned out their places. Right, and the serpent got cursed. Right, he got cursed as was the serpent that was going to crawl on his belly and eat the dust, which is that confusion. It says, and brought low and turned out of their places. It says, as clay is in the potter's hand to fashion it as his pleasure, so man is at the hand of him that made him to render to them as liketh best. Good is set against evil, and life against death. So is the godly against the sinner, and the sinner against the godly. Right. So look upon all the works of the Most High, and there are two and two against another. Right. And that's that perfect order and that balance. Right. It says in Proverbs 11:1 that a false balance is an abomination, but a just weight is his delight. Right. So it's a balance to everything. It's good, it's evil. Right. It's the sun, it's the moon. Right. It's the sea, it's the land. Right. Everything is a perfect balance, and that's how the Lord makes this world and everything that's in it. It's a proper balance to things, right? So it's only right that Israel has an enemy, right? To fulfill that story, to make that story balanced, right? So let's see. I'm thinking I'm gonna end it there. I don't want to do a long lesson. Just want to do a quick lesson, land backing off the lesson that brothers did yesterday, right? How Esau, Edom, and Jacob will never come together, right? Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished, right? And everybody who's found with him shall be thrust through. So it would behoove you to get away from Esau, right, and to understand who your enemy is, because Jacob has enemies, right? But the chief enemy of Jacob, Israel, is Esau, right? So you want to get away from Esau, and you want to understand his deceit and his wickedness, because he's gonna try to trap Jake and try to make him a perpetual slave, right? So he can lose his blessing, so he can yiquab his blessing back from Jake, which he's not, because the elect is going to be sealed. No matter how you look at it, slice it, cut it, Jake is going to be sealed, right? The elect of Jake, right? So with that, I want to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh Shem Shai. Until next time, Lord willingly, Shalom.